First of all, hi y'all. How y'all doing? Me, I'm doing good. How am I doing today? I'm trying to get my sleep together because I've been staying up till 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 1 in the morning. I'm trying to go to bed earlier than that. Getting there. Um, I did the Country Wayne skit reviews last night, and a lot of y'all probably don't understand how I do the Country Wayne skits. All right, let's talk about it. I do the Country Wayne skits as if these people were actually in my office. If I had these people as clients, how would I go about working with them as far as their issues? The difference between these Country Wayne skits is because you see the whole progression of it all. Whereas you in real life, when you go to a therapist, they only go off what you tell them, not what they actually can see. So it's like when you go into court, if you don't have any evidence of something, you can't really prove that it existed. So you have to have evidence that it's true. So when I talk to people, I do hear their side of it because I think it's important, but I also hear everybody else's side of it as well. Then I can get a consensus of what the truth is, what a lie is. And I know the difference between a lie and the truth. But a lot of people claim they believe in God, but they have no faith in God. There's a difference between praying and having faith and doing the work. You cannot just pray on something and not do the work. You got to do the work. You can't say Jesus is popping and Jesus is not popping on not one single solitary bit of these skits. Now, mind you, it's good that this stuff is happening because therapists and coaches and psychologists can use these skits as a way to help. I gotta go out. So we can use these skits to help people because depending on what people go through, there's one or two of these skits that will help with people in these journeys. But what I want to talk about is breaking down the Country Wayne skits and getting y'all to understand what these skits are. These are not soap operas. There's not like Young and the Restless where it's an hour or 30 minutes long. A skit is something that it doesn't have to have a conclusion to it. It's just that's the skit, that's what it is. You sit down, you talk about it, you dissect it, and then you come to some type of conclusion. So, the whole way that they do these skits, because I can show you a bunch of them that are funny. Now, skits are normally funny, normally. But improv is where there is no writing, there is none of that. It's just somebody telling you what the scenario is. They break down the scenario. You and that person go over what you're going to say and you improv. So, for example, if I'm somebody that my attention span ain't that high, I can go through a book and read it and pretty much improv what the book is about without reading it verbatim. Kevin Hart does it. He says it all the time how he improvs all of his lines in the movie. He improvs because trying some people can't always remember verbatim what was on that script. So instead they improv, meaning that they will read it, they'll put their own interpretation of it, and that's how it works. Some people can do it verbatim. Some people can't. And they improv it. And it works. So Kevin has been known to improv all of his movies and it's worked. It actually worked out because it still stayed within the subject. As long as it stays within primarily what's being said, you can word it however you want to word it. And most people do. They'll word it into a way and the person looking like after it's over, that wasn't on the screen. But then the director's like, it was actually better than what was written. So yeah, that's all improv is. Improv is you just off the top of your dome, whatever the topic is, whatever's on that paper, you know you ain't gonna remember it, you improv. And sometimes if you improv it really, really well, they'll go with it. You'll be amazed how many actors improv. How many of them do not stick to the lines, but they'll still do it where it makes sense. And the director say, "We'll just go with it." That's what Wayne and them do. Also, with skits, it's not about a conclusion. It's just about a situation, and you can either continue it or it just be one and done. Like some of these skits are one and done, and that's it. Others of them, they go into more detail. So the problem is what Wayne is trying to do is a soap opera within less than 10 minutes, and it's not working. Because when you do improv, you forget half the time what you said in the last one. That's why none of these skits make sense. Because in skits, they're not supposed to. They're just skits. Now, if Wayne says, we're going to turn this into a soap opera, turn this into a TV series, then he'll bring writers in, and the writers will take from these skits and they will add in, their whatever. So, in other words, if he wanted to turn this into a soap opera, any writer would be very blessed. Because let me tell you why. To have something that's already formatted and all you got to do is add the in-betweens, there is so many things they can do with these skits and turn them into a series. There's so much they can add and take away because you have a foundation. These skits give you a foundation to write. I could take this whole entire skit, all these skits, and turn it into a series. Because you can add stuff and take stuff away. Because there are a lot of people that never seen these skits. So if you take the skits and you take each one of them and you turn the whole entire section of these skits based on the people involved, you can turn it into something else. There's so much room for so many ways you can go about the Amber Anthony and Shayla situation as far as the infidelity and turn it into a series. So many things you can do with Dee and Ty and all. There's so many ways you can turn this into a power universe. But skits make it easier for you to be able to turn it into something more. You can turn it into whatever you want to. But there are no writers. There are just improv. That's it. Because that's what comedians do. They improv. And even Mike said this is the first time he ever been on something where nothing was written. It was just improv. You can go back and watch the video of him, Ernestine, Ralphie, and Jocelyn. They talk about that. There are no writers. I don't know why people think that. No, improv don't work like that. All these people are improving. Okay? That's why even for Erica and all of them have said this is the first time they've ever done improving. So I'm just telling you that's how that works. Pretty much. So with that being said, I just want to come on here and tell y'all and make it clear, Country Wayne skits do not have writers. They do improv. There is no writing. You do it off the top of your head. That's it. And if they do, it is the actors that are writing their own skits. They write their own what they're gonna say. They go back and forth. Sometimes they'll improv, and even it'll still make sense as long as the other person can respond. There you go. That's why they go over it, because it's improv. That's why even before they do it on camera, they go over it just to make sure they know their lines before they go on it. But no, they do not have, there's no scripts, no writers, nothing. They do it off the top of the dome. So with that being said, I love y'all. We'll talk soon. Gotta go out, take care of some errands because we gotta take care of some stuff for my dad that wasn't taken care of. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I hope this makes sense for all of y'all, not only on panels, but Country Wayne skit fans. I hope this helps.